This is a 2015 BMW i3 fully loaded that I bought for 80% off the MSRP, which is about 2 years and 4 months ago. This is a really good deal because it's a big chunk that I got off, which I'll make in another video to show you how much I bought this car for. But this is my first EV and I love it. It's one of the best cars that I've ever driven in my life so far. Now, just so that you kind of keep a few things in mind, this is a fully loaded BMW i3. It's got a lot of features. You have most of the safety technology is in this car. There's parking sensors. There's a self-parking. This car will park for you. Of course, a rear backup camera and a really beautiful entertainment screen that is right in the front. Now, in terms of the driving dynamics, this is one, it does drive like a BMW. Now, some people who had reviewed this car says that this is one of the cars that does not fall into the BMW lineup, and I think that is so bogus, because unless you own BMW cars in the past, you do know how it drives like. And this is my second BMW in the past 3 years, and I gotta tell you, it drives like a BMW. So even though this is a great car, there are 10 things that I find rather a bit annoying about this car that I want to share with you. The first reason is the one that I got is a BMW i3 base model, which means that it doesn't come with the range extender, allowing you to have an extra 70 miles on a small motorcycle engine. This one is purely electric vehicle, and it has a range of 72 to 80 miles depending on how you drive. Now, I gotta tell you that what I dislike about that is of course the range anxiety. With just when you're limited to just 72 miles, you don't feel like you can go anywhere. It just feels very limited. That's how I feel. But in reality, for my daily usage, I do about a 20-mile commute from work to home, so it definitely is perfect for me. However, I just feel like sometimes I might have unexpected errands or event that I gotta be at, and if somehow I'm running low on charge, then I won't be able to kind of meet my obligations, or I don't want to get stuck on the freeway or the road running out of battery. So having that nice extra kick in the range extender would be a really nice option, which I do really regret now, knowing how nice and how awesome this car drives. I feel I could drive this car to almost anywhere. Number two, there are two types of wheels that you can get in the BMW i3. You can get either a 19-inch wheel or a 20-inch wheel. Now, the one I got is the 20-inch because I just wanted to go fully loaded and to really test out this, electric car. And by the way, it's my first electric car. But the thing about the 20-inch wheel is that it runs harsh, and the skinny tire, I think the combination is actually not a good one. It rides really rough, especially on like rough road or like uneven road. And this is even worse when you're hitting like a pothole. It just, you feel almost everything. That's one of my biggest regrets, getting the 20-inch wheel, even though, that's an option that you had to pay more, but it actually kind of backfired. The 19-inch was a lot nicer. Now, you might wonder, why didn't I catch that at the very beginning when I was test driving this car? Well, the reality is, I think my emotion was too high because I just fell in love with the BMW i3 that I couldn't feel what I feel now. The fact that I'm actually driving on a daily basis, and I no longer have that excitement. So now I'm actually able to experience the car fully, and I think it would have been nice if I had owned this car for a week before purchasing it, so I kind of know what to avoid in terms of what options I should pick. There are three types of driving mode in the BMW i3. There's a comfort mode, there's a comfort mode pro, and there's a comfort mode pro plus. Now, if you go with the plus, which is the worst, that's where you're gonna get the max range, because it limits your speed to only 56 miles per hour, and there's no air conditioner in any sort of way. So because of that, you get more range. Now, The one that I want to talk about is the comfort mode. Now the comfort mode, the name is a bit misleading, but the comfort mode is really the sport mode of regular gasoline engine car, because it just goes fast. It opens up the throttle and it allows you to just push hard on the pedal, and the car just pushes you forward. So the comfort mode in the BMW i3 is the sport mode, and because of that, it weighs a lot of power. It actually reduces your range, and that's one of the things that I dislike, because you already have a limited of 72 miles, and being in the comfort mode means that you have to make some sacrifice down to maybe 60. But that's the most fun to drive, being in that mode. So that's a bit of a disadvantage. Do you want to have the fun, or do you want to be able to go further? So I think at the end of the day, you would need to kind of pick and choose depending on whether or not you're making a long road trip or you're just making a quick stop here and there. So just be careful. Now, in terms of safety, that's the next thing I want to talk to you about, and that's the fourth item on my list. Now, there's two types of agency that rates the safety of the BMW i3. There is the American, which is called the IIHS, and there's also the European Safety Commission, which is called the Eurocom, I believe. I don't remember the exact name. They rated this car 4 out of 5 stars. Now, most BMW that I know that's out there, and the one that I specifically own, has a 5-star rating. And BMW, even though they're known for their performance, their car is extremely safe. And that's one of the things that I love about BMW and Mercedes, just because they are ranked up high. Their cars are designed to save lives. This car is a little bit different. I think it's a special project for BMW. They use a lot of the plastic that they compose together. They call them composite carbon fiber, and the technology that's behind them is rather complicated. It's actually pretty expensive for BMW to actually make this car. The upside is that they're able to make it light, which means that you're able to save energy. Now, I don't know if it's I don't know the main reasons, but again, they're only rated 4 out of 5 stars, which I'm okay with, but I would rather be in a luxury electric vehicle with a 5-star rating. I think that would make me feel a lot safer, given the fact that this car is short and also kind of skinny. Now, BMW did argue with the European Safety Commission that this car does deserve a 5-star, but their argument did prevail, and therefore it's still rated at a 4-star. Now, on to the 5th item. Most luxury cars, and the BMW i3 is sold as a luxury car. Most of them have what we call, or what's referred to as memory seats, and you get up to 3 different memories. So for the first driver, the second driver, and perhaps the third driver can actually program their own seating position, and also the adjustment of the side mirrors and the steering wheel through tilt and telescopic. In the BMW i3, you don't have that feature, and I think that's kind of disappointing, because my wife and I kind of alternate driving this car. On my off days, she would be working, and therefore, to save gas, she would be taking the BMW i3 to work instead of the old traditional gasoline car that she owns. And I wish that feature was there, because that would have made it so convenient for her and myself to be able to kind of toggle back and forth of our seating arrangement. It just makes it more comfortable, and I think at this luxury class, I think that feature should be one of the options that should be in the car. Now, I know probably they're trying to go in the most conservative way to actually save battery life and extend, the range of the car. But I think, sometimes you got to make a little bit of sacrifice to be able to maintain the finishing touch to be in the BMW standard. The 7th feature that I want to talk to you about that I hate or dislike is the blind spot detection. Now, keep in mind that this car is fully loaded, so all the technology features is available in this BMW i3 compared to other BMW i3. And that's about a $3,500 extra on top of whatever the price is, which includes like things such as adaptive cruise control, automatic braking, pedestrian detection, and also, you know, you got sensors in the front and sensors in the back to kind of keep you at a safe distance. One of the features that I feel would really keep drivers safe is the blind spot detection, allowing you to signal and know exactly whether or not you can switch lanes. I think that feature is really important in almost every car, and not just in a BMW. And I'm kind of disappointed that it's you know, given the fact that this one has a tech feature, it is not available in this car. So I don't really know why that is the case, and I wish I can blame it on, you know, some type of like item that they have to trim off the list of the BMW i3 so that they can save some battery power, but I just can't buy that. I just don't know why it's not on there, nor is it on the new 2018 BMW i3. So hopefully in the future BMW would consider and put that feature onto the BMW i3. I think that would make it really safe. Now on to the 8th item. This is a little picky here, but this is so as a 4-seater, so you get the driver, you get the passenger, then you got two seats in the back for possibly kids or teenagers. Surprisingly, the room is amazing. You get tons of leg room for the back, and the kids just fit perfectly. The one thing I don't like, or the one thing I want to talk about in the 8th item is having a 5th seat would be so nice. This car is of course a compact car, but if you look at other compact car, they were able to still squeeze in a 5th seat for a 5th person, and I think that would have been useful, because sometimes I travel with my wife and she wants to maybe sit in the back with the kids to help entertain and feed them, and so if there was an extra seat for her, I think that would have really sweetened the deal. So hopefully in the future this car can be made with a 5th seat. And I think that's definitely doable. Now on to the 9th item. This one was reported by a lot of the owners, and that is the fact that the tires just wears out way too quickly. Most of the BMW i3 owners reported that their tires wear out between 15 to 20,000 miles. Now if that was the case, which it is because it's been reported by a lot of the owners, then that means that you're going to be forking out between $800 to $1,000 every 1 to 2 years to change these tires. Anyhow, I don't expect to drive this car too much. I'm expecting to put maybe about $5,000 per year on this car, so I'm okay with that. But if you're a daily driver and you're driving like 12 to 15,000 miles a year, expect to pay a significant amount when you change your tire. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. I have about 3 or 4 years to worry about, which I'm okay with. Now on to the 10th item, and this is also really nitpicking because this car is such a great car, and that is I'm really missing out on the dual moonroof that is in the 2018. Now this is a 2015, so that feature is actually available in the European model, but not in the US model. So there's no dual moonroof, and I wish that was there, because that would have made the car so much nicer, having this open feel and having the light flood into your cabin. So either that or having the front trunk a bit bigger, because at the current moment it is so small that you really can't put anything in there. So I wish BMW would have somehow redesigned the front trunk. Think of the Tesla Model 3, they're able to make really good use of their front trunk. But anyhow, I really like my BMW i3. I think if I had the knowledge of all these items that I dislike, I think the one thing that I would really change is getting the one with the range extender. So if you're in the market for a BMW i3, make sure you compare the two, and even though you feel like yes, getting the one with the range without the range extender would be enough, I would really recommend getting the range extender, because you're gonna feel less limited and you're gonna really avoid having that range anxiety, and the feeling of being able to go anywhere and having a backup plan, which that's what the range extender does for you. It gives you a backup plan, would be so nice. All right, so so I think that's the only thing I would do. I would be able to kind of sacrifice some of those amenities that I discussed with you, but the range extender was something that I would definitely get. And I do regret that just a little bit, but I'm just gonna try to be conservative and keep my range. I do have a regular gasoline engine, so if I do need to go anywhere far, that's the one I'm gonna use. And that was the main reason why I didn't get the Rex to start with. I'll talk to you in the next video.